Hi everyone, God's Hate, the self-titled sophomore album. Now, see, the reason I wanted to talk about that gimmick EP is because I wanted to talk about this album, and this feels like the logical follow-up to that EP, especially given a lot of the notes I had about it. Now, let me be clear. I do not understand why this album, this band, is labeled as metalcore because it's not really doing any of the things people shit on metalcore for doing, other than the insanely intriguing vocals at time. But we'll get to those in a second. This album's not doing anything particularly wrong in my opinion, and it is very much a hardcore album. Like I just guys, the breakdowns are just really long. I don't know if you realize that. That's it. This isn't metalcore. And also on that point, what the fuck is metalcore? Like everyone loves to complain about it, but guys, it's not a genre. Like it's a genre because it's just bad metal music, but that does not make it a thing. Shut up about it. It's not that deep. It's just bad music. You can just call it bad and you don't have to call it a different genre because you want it to be bad. Anyways, tangent aside, because I don't think God's Hate classifies as metalcore. This album is incredibly good. I like it a lot. There's only two gripes I have with it. First off, some of the breakdowns are too desolate. Like there's not enough going on in them. I'm specifically talking about Be Harder and Valley of Hate. Yeah, that's it. Just like they could have filled it in more, I feel like. But I do know what they were going for. Like they were going for the dun 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 dun. Like I see what they were going for. It's just me personally. I don't know. I like when they're a little bit more filled out. Other than that, though, this is a great album in my opinion. Not only because it is a very well-crafted hardcore album with a lot of the elements you typically want, but it also does new things. Maybe not new things, but different things. I like the group vocals. I like the kind of there's a lot of like samurai influence on this album, which is really funny because that is not what you normally think when you think of hardcore. As like, I don't know, there's samurai, there's hardcore, and then this album just smashes them together, and I kind of love it. But that also means that it does a lot of interesting things. It feels very influenced by more Japanese and Eastern music. I don't know if I'm correct in that assumption, but it does feel like it at times, most notably on the song 6 Feet Deep. And this is the only track I actually have a problem with. I don't think the vocals are that good. I don't like the soaring vocals on this track. And I don't know, like it's not even that they sound bad, it's just thematically in relation to the tracks surrounding it, it feels off. And also the premise of the song itself feels kind of off. It's like, hey, you know, fuck you. It's like, I don't know, it's about backstabbing, conniving bitches. But here's the thing, right? The rest of the album is way more intellectual than that because the rest of the album is about capitalism. It's about how you need to be an anarcho-communist. Like, this album is insanely politically based and it's very well read. You can tell these guys actually know what they're talking about. So to have a song that's kind of about pettiness feels contradictory almost. But like, let's talk about the sound a bit, alright? This is Macho Man Randy Savage meets Ted Kaczynski, if I had to put it into words. It feels like a really buff guy making pipe bombs, and I do really like that. It is a good sound, and if you've seen any footage of these guys live, then you know that's basically what it is. But specific tracks, Be Harder, I really like. Like I said, my only gripe with it is, you know, the very slow breakdown. Finish the Job. This is a staple track. I understand why this is what you see in most circulation of videos of the band because it's a fucking insane track and the premise is so simple. You can't go wrong with this premise. Kill white supremacists. Boom! Easiest fucking winner track of the year. Like, Jesus Christ. Violence Unlimited, I do like how it's basically just death to centrist because centrists are the worst kind of people. If you're a centrist, please get away from me. I do like Valley of Hate. I do like the switching of the vocals, and I do like the breakdown. I do think it could be less slow and less empty, but I do like when the vocals come in and then they kind of do the really fast part of it. I like that. It's an interesting little twist, and it kind of keeps the track feeling unique in comparison to the rest of the album. Um, yeah, yeah, I think that's about it. This is a very, again, it's hard to feel very unique in hardcore, but this album has some aspects to it that make it feel, I don't know, more lively, I guess. It doesn't really focus on a lot of the stuff that normal hardcore focuses on. A lot of normal hardcore focuses on like repping your city, your area code. This is much more about murder fascist, and I think more hardcore needs to focus on the inherent political nature of the genre. Like, it came from punk, guys. Come on, guys, come on. And like, yeah, sure, you can say a lot of it is anti-cop, anti-racist, anti-capitalist, but they don't focus on that. They kind of just say it. Again, I will bring up Tsunami, Contempt of a Cop. It's not anti-cop, but it's not saying anything more than cops can fucking die. And like, that's such an old statement at this point. People have been saying that for years. So it's nice to hear bands that are trying to be more politically progressive. This also brings up some other bands that I've listened to as of late. A lot of the San Francisco Bay Area scene is very, very progressive. Excusing a few bands who are very notable and very racist, most of them are actually pretty good and like actually speak truth to power, if you know what I mean. And I feel like God's Hate does that very well. I feel like they do not fuck around in their messaging. They're very clear about it, and then they execute it through song. And yeah, it's a really good album. Also, the fact that it was founded by a fucking wrestler, that's hilarious to me. Like, I don't know, the second I read that, I was like, all right, I'm sold on this band. Yeah, I think that's it.